Hello, I'm Michelle Carlson, an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator from Eagan, Minnesota, and I'm so glad you're here. Whether you're new or have been watching my videos for a while, thank you for spending some creative time with me. Each month, I share fun card making projects using current Stampin' Up! Products to spark your creativity. I keep things simple and flexible, so you can easily recreate these projects with supplies you already have. Let's get started. This month, I'm featuring the Easter Joy Designer Series paper and the Easter Basket stamp set and dies. The Easter Joy Designer Series paper is in the new January to April mini catalog and is part of the Easter Joy Suite collection, which is on page 34 and 35. This comes in 12 by 12 and received 12 double-sided sheets, 2 of each. There's one missing due to it being a sheet that you can cut out to make a card front. So it has different sceneries already done for you to make easy layouts on your cards. So here we go. And then they also have a printed back. The colors in this coordinating are in the coordination of the Designer Series paper is Balmy Blue, Crumb Cake, Lemon Lolly, Peach Pie, Pretty in Pink, and Shy Shamrock. And also, if you notice, this Designer Series paper has a glossy finish on one side and then a matte finish on the other. The Easter Basket Stamp Set may be an Easter set, but it's perfect for spring cards too. And that's what we're making today. It has 12 stamps, and I love the fun fonts and outline images. They're great for coloring or keeping simple. The Easter basket die has some great features, like standalone baskets, and the flower die that and the bow that are standalone. Here's the stem and the flowers that are standalone that we will be using today. And but also the outline images are for easy cutting, and the set comes with 15 dies. The card I'm going to make for you today is a double Z gatefold card. So as you can see, it opens up like this. You probably have seen different versions of this before. And I call it a double Z because it looks like a Z pattern here, and one is correct and one's kind of the opposite, and then it comes together as a gate. So that is, and we're going to do something different on the front of this card that we'll be making. The pieces you need to make this card is a colored cardstock, which is 5.5 by 4 1/4, and then maybe the same color for a layer on the inside, which is 3 3/4 by 3 1/4, and then your basic white, which is 11 by 4, as you want to be a little bit smaller than your base here. And then you're going to score on each side at 2 inches and 3 3/4. So there's a score mark here and a score mark there, and then this is like your inside. So I'll show you how to fold and do all that. On the Designer Series paper that you need is you'll need 2 of each. This will be for your strips in the back, which are 4 inches by 3/4 inch. And then you'll have 2 more, which are 3 3/4 by 1 3/4 inch, and I believe that's those 2. And that'll be on your front of the fun fold. And then this is on the inside of the fun fold, which is 3 3/4 by 1 1/2. So these are really similar in size, but just note that this is a 1/4 inch bigger than that one. And then you'll have a basic white piece for your inside if I didn't mention that already, which is 3.5 by 3. And all these measurements will be on my website. So the first thing I'm going to do is just glue on my strips, the 4 by 3/4 inch strips onto the 5.5 by 4 and 1/4 piece of cardstock. And I just like to do this first so that I can get the basic white piece centered in the middle. So we'll just put some glue on here. Okay, never glued the glossy side before, so we'll see how this works. Well, I guess I did on the other card. So, oops. So I'm just going to make an even border all the way around the 3 sides. So once you have both strips on both of the side pieces, on the sides of that, we're going to fold our piece here. So what you want to do is fold this one inside and then have your bone folder so you can just varnish it so it lays flat. And I only use basic white. On the other card I showed you, I used thick basic white, and I think basic white will lay more flat than the actually thick one. So I thought I would try the basic white and see how that works. Okay, so just like that, like a Z. And then you do the same on the other side. So flip over. And then flip this part back. Okay. And then hopefully if you measure it correctly, they'll line up in the middle. I know there's a little gap, but don't worry about that because you're going to, either cover it up or it's not going to make a big difference on that. Okay. And then all you're going to do is place some glue on the back and then center it here in the middle. Make sure you have a nice border here. Just kind of line it up with your designer series paper on each side, just like that. So once you have that glued on, we're going to glue our front pieces. So make sure you have the correct pieces on the front and on the inside. Like I said, it's pretty close. So we're this again is 3 3/4 by 1 3/4. Okay, so let's glue the front, and then on the inside you're going to place your inside pieces, which again are 3 3/4 by 1 1/2. And then so those will go on the inside. Before I would cut anything, I would want to make sure I knew where I wanted my designer series papers to go. So once you have your panels all glued down, then I would glue your layer piece. You don't have to have a layer piece, you could just write in there. But you know me, I like layers. I'm the layer queen. So I'm going to put my layer there, but don't glue this down yet because we would want to do our stamping first before we glue. So once we have all our gluing done, we can work on the focal point. So I'm just going to bring this in here. This is, again, just a sample. And I was going to just put the basket on without this piece, but then I realized the back of the basket and eggs and probably the bunny and stuff would be showing here, and I didn't want that. So then I came up with this piece. So for this size, and this, like I said, is optional, but it's 3 inches by 3 3/4. And so we can glue this on since I know I'll need it. And how I would line this up, just make sure like the designer series papers, so you can see it on each side, and then flip it over so you know where to glue. Or if you wanted to glue on that side, I guess you could. I just wanted to make sure the rough side would be on the back, and I think this is the rough side actually that I'll be gluing. So, yep, just line it up, and then you know where the middle part, so you don't want to go past the middle. And I'm just going to add some glue here. Usually I don't show the gluing, but I just want to show this part because it can get confusing. And I don't want you to glue where you're not supposed to. And then you can just flip this over. Again, just line things up. And, oops, I want this up a little bit higher. And then to have even designer series paper on each side. So, all right, just like that. And then just glue that down or press it down. And that should be good to go. Now we'll work on the actual basket. So I wanted to show you all these die cuts. So the basket here just cuts out this part. All these little strips, if you want to make a weaved basket, you could leave it like this too. But if you want it woven like this, then you would need this die piece to cut out all the strips. Now you only need 3, so you'll have a lot left over for another basket, which is great if you're doing more than one card. And then this flower cuts out the center also with this, so you can mix and match. So like with this, I think I did white and let's see, what's it? Peach pie. So when I cut it out, I could do a white piece up here so that you have white with on the peach pie down there, or vice versa. Let's see, let's get a white piece, and where is the peach? There we go. And I also did lemon lolly. Well, I had one left over from another card, so we might use that one too. Or you can do white with the peach pie up on top. Also, you have like stems, so you can glue your leaves onto the stems. So I'm not going to have you like watch me glue all this together, but I think you get the idea. So then you have that glued with this and that, and you get a cute little flower. And I'll eventually glue this behind in the basket. So here I stamped out a bunny with basic gray, and then I just colored in the nose and the ears with, let's see, petal pink. And so I might add him to the basket as well. So I just wanted to show you those parts and pieces of what they were used for. I will, however, show you how to weave this through. Now I'm not going to do all of them. I'm just going to show you like one strip. But what I would do is start, just in the middle. So that's, or just start by going in and out, just like so across the basket. And then the other one, you would do the opposite. And then, like I said, I only did 3 of these. That's really how much it would fit. So just like that. The first one's easiest. It gets tougher as the time, when you do more, especially the next one where you're doing the opposite. But I was thinking the other day, or when I was doing this, the other basket, I was like, well, why don't I do this one again and then do the other one opposite? And I guess here I am going to show you all the how to do this, but I'm like, oh yeah, that's easier. So I just want to give you the tips and tricks of what I've learned. Like, don't do do what I'm showing you now and not what I was doing before. And now let's see if we can, let's do, that's bottom. So then we do this as a top. So, well, let's see how this works here. So this is a trial and error, trial, I guess, not an error, of what best way to do it, this. So now I want this to go up through here. Now it might be a little bit more tough doing it this way. I don't know. Maybe I should have done it how I did it before. But we will see. Oops, let's get that in there. So once you get, like, it's tough, like I said, it gets tougher as we go along here. But this might work out good. Just have to get it going. And want it to go. Okay. Anyways, you get the idea. So either you do this part right away and do that last, which works well too, or I was trying to find a different way for you that you might want to do the same and then this one. Either way, it's going to be, it'll take a little finesse and time, as you can see with this video. Okay, anyway, I will get this done and then we'll move on. So once you have these all in, we're going to cut off the edges. So take your paper scissors and we're just going to clip off the ends, just right next to the basket. Okay, just like that. Don't worry, they'll stay because they're pretty in there, tight enough, right? But we'll be using glue dots and dimensionals and things on the back so that these will stay once we get everything put together. I was also noticing there's a little slit in here. So I was wondering, I wonder if you're supposed to put this through there and glue it on. So that's interesting. So you have, kind of a stem like that. I don't know. I don't know if I like that. Otherwise, I just glued it in the back with that. And I kind of like that better. So it's up to you. Just wanted to give you that option in case you were wondering, why is there a slit in that part of the flower? And I'm also using glue dots. So I just wanted to show you that. Of course, you're going to go through a lot of glue dots, but it's less messy. So I'm just putting a glue dot here. And then I'm going to pick this up and put it here. And you don't have to have your pick tool. You can just put it on with your fingers. And then I turn this over and put the glue dot on the back, since I'm not going to put the stem through that slot. And then, oops, and then put your stem there, or wherever you want it. So I'm going to make sure it's lined up like that. Okay, so I'm going to make one more and then we'll put this together. So we're going to put our stuff on the back of our basket. And like I said, I'm going to use glue dots. And I kind of know what I want. So let me just see. So let's start on this side. And I want one of these. Let's see, over here. This kind of, I would like, yep. So you can go, in front or behind the basket. Kind of make it realistic. And I think I want this one over like this. And I'm going to put the bunny over here. So I'm just going to add another glue dot. And I love glue dots. This makes things a lot easier and less messy. I don't like messy. You'll never see me do a messy technique, or hardly ever. So, and even though this, cutting out and stuff and gluing together seems putsy, after doing this, it's going to be really cool. I don't mind putsy work. As long as it's pretty, not, terribly hard or complicated. So we'll just do that. And then I was thinking of putting this bunny, like put his little ear over here. So it's more, he's kind of like that. So what do you think? So I'll just put a couple glue dots and put that on. So once we have everything put together, then we'll put some dimensionals on the back. Because I like dimensionals too. And then this is where we can use it to hold these strips in place. I have no doubt that they wouldn't fall out, but you never know. And then I think I'll just put one up here and one over here. Kind of Oh, and maybe one in the middle, just for good measure, right? Okay, so then we'll just put these out, take these off. Okay, come on. It's got my nails done, so it should be easier to take these things off. Okay. And then I'm just going to line it up just to give it a little bit of blue. And maybe, oh, oops, don't want to set it down too. Just so you have room on the top. And then, yeah, that looks good. Kind of centered. See how that turned out? That's so cute. And then open it up. So now we just have to do the inside. So as I was thinking of what to do with this card, and it's kind of just evolving as I'm making this video, this Hello Spring is really teeny tiny, and I was going to put it on the inside, but it just might get lost. So what I'm going to do is just stamp it on a scrap piece like that. And then, have you ever seen the triple banner punch? So it has all these different banners in it. And I thought that it would be cool to add a little banner of Hello Spring up there. So let me see. I think I want to do this flat side. So I'm going to use this one and then do the banner part on by the spring. So the flat by the hello and the banner by the spring, I think. Let's see how we like that. Oh, I like that a lot. And then I'm going to put that up there like this. And it can go over because it's not just like so. That'll be cute. And I would put dimensionals on that so it goes over the basket handle. Okay, then for the inside, I don't think I'm going to stamp any words, but I am going to stamp a tulip. And I think that's what those things are. But anyways, this is as close to those that for a stamp set that we have. Otherwise, we can do these group of flowers too. I just figured that looks similar to what I was with those outside flowers. So I'm just going to stamp this in black, black ink. And then color it in with Stampin' Blends. So just to keep with our combination, I'm going to use Peach Pie for the flower, and I'm going to do the light one first, just to see how that looks. And since this is a small space, I'm just going to use the smaller end. You can use the brush tip, but I feel I have more control with the nub piece. So if you've never seen the Stampin' Blends, they have a smaller side, and then a brushed point. Okay, and then if you see these bumps here, you should really go like that, just so that it goes on and off straight, so that you don't wreck your brush ends. So go up like that, and just a little tip for if you have any Stampin' Blends, because you don't want to put it in wrong and then you ruin your brush, especially the brush side. Okay, and I do like the light versus, I don't think I'll go much darker. If you want to add highlights or whatever, you can, but I'm going to keep this simple. So we have the dark and the light. I'm going to try the light first, and I think that'll be enough. So I'm going to use the smaller end. Since this is really tiny spot, right? Maybe I use the brush tip, but maybe I'll do that for the stem. Okay, so down like that. Let's go up with this. So see how the brush tip is fine, more fine tip. Just kind of lightly brush on the color, okay? You don't want to ruin your tip by pressing too hard. And if you're going to color sideways. Don't go like this, like up and down, because that ruins the tip, the fibers on the tip. So when you color sideways. All right, just some tips on the Stampin' Blends there, and then we'll just glue this inside, and I believe our card will be done. Oops, one little thing. I was going to add a bow, but I was going to add a bow with this balmy blue gingham ribbon that comes with the suite. So I can just maybe tie a bow here. We'll see if I can do it quickly. So let's see. I just tie it around like I do, like if I was tying a shoe. I know other people do 2 bunny ears and around, which might be better for this. Should we try that? I don't know if I can do that. That's not how I usually do my bows, but it might work out, nicer. So I should try that here. Oh, let's see. Make sure it's not all twisted on me. Okay, well, this is a experience to do this on camera. There, yeah, I do like that. And then we can bring this down. Oopsie, too far. But this is the nice where you can adjust to whatever size bow you want. Now I feel like this way, because I'm just not used to it, I'm going to be wasting a lot, but we'll deal with it. So I'm going to take my ribbon scissors, and just cut off the end like this, kind of at an angle, and like that. Okay, and then I'm going to glue this on with a glue dot right there. I think that'll be really cute. Okay, now I think we're done with the card. So didn't that turn out cute? Little spring Easter card. And I could put, like, on the inside, hello spring, Easter's on its way. I could put that in there too, but I just figured I'll just leave it blank to write my own little saying, or whatever I want to write, actually. Okay, let me show you what the other cards I have for you. So there's the two the one we just made, and then the other one I showed you. Now, originally when I was trying to find an idea, I found this on Pinterest. The person that made this card was Tracy Held, and I just kind of copied it, and I just took the fun fold idea and made it my own. But I do like how you just use circles and then opened up like this. And then she just die cut that out of the designer series paper. So hardly any stamping, just stamping the words there and on the inside. And then I was working with the Valentine paper, and I thought I'd make a Valentine's card. And then taking one of the heart die cuts, and this one it had the little tag on it, so I just clipped that off, or that hole, so you can make this into a tag, and made it like this. And this is actually die cut out, so you can see the layered piece of coloring through the die cut. So I thought that was neat. So you don't have to do a square, or a rectangle. In the front you can do different things. That's why I thought, oh, I'll do a basket, but then I realized you would see all the other stuff behind the basket. And I didn't want that showing. So I had to come up with an alternative. Now, this is card I got as a card swap from Darcy Windsor. And isn't that beautiful? This is the Nature Walk Suite collection. And this is an awesome, birthday card. And so again, she used the same fun fold. She just used another layer, or she just used layers of cardstock versus designer series paper. And then she didn't, so she only used one designer series paper on this side and here, and then on the inside there, but not on the front. because you're going to have this layer in the front, taking up all the space, right? But she used, so nothing under there, but use the layer piece like we did, but it's bigger. And then the designer series paper is the same size as what I used. So there's always different ways of decorating the front of your um, of this fun fold. And then I had another class where people make a sample, and then we make the card. We have a theme. This theme was let's see, masculine cards. And she made the same fun fold. I'm like, are you kidding me? And with this class, you can use retired um, product. So as you can see, this is probably, if you're familiar with Stampin' Up! Products, but this is all retired. It has the Pebble Path in colors and boho blue, if you remember those colors. And, just another, stamp set. But it worked out really great and I said, oh, can I show this card? And this is from my friend Kathy Davis that designed this card. And it worked out perfectly because that's exactly the fun fold I was going to do this month. So then you have another alternative of what to do for your front. So it doesn't have to be, it could just be, as simple as that. And that looks really beautiful. And then she just had some outline stickers that she used on the card. So hopefully this gives you some inspiration and that you'll try this fun fold. Um, and let me know what stamp set and paper you used. You can find all the measurements and the full product list on my website at michellesstamping.com. Just click on card videos, then choose 2026 cards from the drop-down menu. If you enjoyed this project, I'd love a thumbs up or a comment below. It truly makes my day to hear from you. And if you make a card using this project, please feel free to share it in the comments under this video. I'd love to see your creations and learn which stamp set and paper you used. I would love to be your Stampin' Up! Demonstrator and help you with all your paper crafting needs. If you'd like a paper copy of the catalog and or want to receive my newsletter, feel free to email me at michellesstamping@gmail.com. For your convenience, all of these links are listed below the video. Be sure to click on the subscribe button. It's free on my YouTube channel, so you'll be notified whenever I share a new video. I'd love for you to craft along with me. Thank you for watching and happy stamping!